Hello, hi. Oh my gosh, hyper testing out the inks I want to use for this image. I'm keeping that in. I'm honestly keeping that in. As chaotic and disorganized as ever, welcome back to another video. So today I am sharing this speed paint, and it's a little bit of a special speed paint, I guess, because it is actually to kind of celebrate mine and Simon's birthday, which is on March 10th. So I figured I would just make a little picture for that just for fun. I always kind of get a little down during my birthday and like a little bit sad, so I figured I would just do something extra to kind of, I don't know, add some cheer up juice to everything. But I will say that Tatty really made my birthday really special with beautiful artworks that she gave me, and I was really happy to be able to spend the time like with her and my mom and my quill dog. And yeah, so I just figured I would add this little artwork as something fun to post. I tried to time this so I would be able to post it actually on March 10th on my birthday, but again, I am disorganized as ever, and I was not able to make it work timing wise. However, I do like how the artwork came out, and I will never, skip an opportunity to be able to yap about some of our characters for a little bit, at least for a couple minutes. So yes, so I wanted to say in this spread, I have featured several characters. So you see the big characters featured here is Dunia and Simon and their little fur son Mugwort or Muggy. And you'll probably recognize from the other posts and the other videos that Dunia is actually one of the siblings of Lessa and Kilia. So they are triplets, and this also means that they are connected to and part of the lore that goes along with like Cave Canem and that storyline. However, like I've mentioned before, a lot of our stories, pretty much all of our stories, kind of connect in certain ways. So yeah, but they are featured in like the Cave Canem storyline, and then some of the other ones that are like, back in time and, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, so that's Dunia. And then Simon is part of the trio that was originally posted on my page, and I will touch on that in a second. But I wanted to say the other characters that you see over there that are drawn in a little bit smaller, so not the chibis obviously, but the characters that are drawn in smaller is actually Naoya and Hotaru or Yuya. They are at the bottom with the little cake, and then up at the top is Pam and Naomi, and they're just all really cute. I'm really excited to share this spread because I was actually getting a little bit emotional when I was making this, because I was just thinking about how far the trio has really come, and it really makes me appreciate how far all of our characters have come in general, and how much they are integrated into the lore and everything is like connected and makes sense. And that is huge thanks mainly to Tatty. She works tirelessly to make sure that, my crazy ass random things, my disorganized ass ideas are integrated well into the stories, and I'm always like springing these random things on her. So thank you so much to her for being able to organize things. I am very bad at that still, but I'm trying to get better so I'm not all over the place. But yes, I wanted to mention, so if you have been kind of like following this channel for a long time, or you remember like some of my old posts from other pages, you probably maybe kind of recognize the trio. So Simon, Yuya, and Naomi, which Naomi was originally called Candy. And that's actually, fun fact, that is where like the channel name and even my current username kind of comes from. So Candy, or Naomi, was originally kind of the mascot of my pages, and so she showed up a lot as like the avatar of the pages, like the icon, and she was kind of the face of everything. And then Simon and Yuya are like her very close friends. And so that didn't change as far as the upgrades to the lore and like the integration into the other stories. That part didn't change of them being friends, which is why I featured them on this spread together. I kind of wanted to make it like, maybe they had a little party and they're all hanging out together and, just chilling and having fun. So during that time when she was like the mascot and everything, that was like during a point in time where I didn't really have the details for them fully figured out. I had like some of their backstory stuff figured out and things like that, but I didn't like fully flesh out all of the ideas I wanted to have for them. And one of the things that was happening in the past with them was that they kind of had this little bit of a triangle thing going on as far as like romance. And that was because I didn't really know what I wanted to do with them. And also I didn't know what their actual true selves were quite yet, as far as, you know, what they're into romantically and like for a partner. And so I am so happy that nowadays they are like, you know, they have their absolutely wonderful, adorable partners. They've all like met in various ways in relation to like their hobbies and their occupations kind of. And I think their meetings are really sweet. I would love to be able to talk about like Naoya and Yuya and Pam and Naomi sometime. I am going to focus on Dunia and Simon a little bit just because the picture is for his birthday for now, but I would love to talk about them some other time as well. So Dunia and Simon kind of wind up meeting because in the Kabekanum storyline, as I've mentioned before, the setting there is kind of inspired by Japan, and it is kind of like a Japan setting. So in that, you know, type of setting, Dunia is actually a bit of like an idol there. So she has a really prominent online presence. She often collaborates with like different brands. She models for different brands like clothing and costumes and like things like that. And she shows up on even on like billboards and magazines and things like that through the Kabekanum story. And actually Naomi also does this as well. She tends to lean a little bit more towards like the cosplay type of stuff as far as like doing modeling and things like that. But her and Dunia have very similar like styles and interests. So they wind up kind of collaborating with a lot of like the same companies, or at least like similar companies where they kind of like rub elbows and they meet up. So her and Dunia are already kind of friends. And so that kind of works out later that Naomi is a little bit of a wingman for like Simon and Dunia. However, the main way that they kind of meet is because Dunia does that and she has like the online presence and everything, and Simon has a bit of a different online presence. So he is actually an artist, and he's like the living the dream type of artist where he like, you know, makes comics and different types of artwork, and he's able to support himself with that, which I know that I would love to do, and I'm sure that most of us would love to be able to do that. And we're on our way. Like, let's manifest that. Everybody's sending out good juju there. We are on our way. We're going to be able to do that. But yeah, they meet because he basically makes some artworks for her, and particularly some comics in relation to her. And she basically loves those, and they wind up kind of talking that way. And then slowly they start to talk more. They kind of meet up in the type of meetups that people online will tend to do, or conventions, because she probably winds up being a guest at a lot of conventions, and he probably does, you know, the artist alley and stuff like that at conventions. So they just wind up meeting and talking more. And then of course having that connection through Naomi also helps a little bit to make them a bit more familiar and for the situation to feel like good and okay, basically. So yeah, that's like kind of how they meet. There are still some like smaller details being worked out with them because we're currently working on the story in general as a whole, and so I'm sure that there will be additions to them in their meetings and stuff, but that's kind of the basic gist of it. And I don't know, I just think that they're really cute. They wind up fitting together so well because Dunia is like happy and bubbly and, you know, always excited and just really sweet and cute, and Simon tends to lean more on like the sad, kind of depressed and anxious side. And he's always been like that. So I think their personalities and their dynamic works together really, really well because, she definitely balances him out and makes him feel a little bit better a lot of the time. So on top of like basically being his muse because he's inspired by her to like make the comics that he's working on and the artworks that he's working on, aside from that, she just really balances him out personality wise in general. And I don't know, I just think that they're really cute. There's a lot of times where our lore really comes together like little puzzle pieces, and I always appreciate that so much. Like I said, Tatty really works so hard to make sure everything fits together, but I do feel like there's also a lot of instances on top of that where the OCs kind of speak for themselves. And I'm sure that you all probably experienced something similar as well, where like you feel like you're setting things up, but the characters will stop you and be like, no, this is how it's supposed to go. This is what you need to do. And they kind of speak for themselves in that way. So I feel like that happens a lot here. And with the lore in regards to, you know, Kavikanem and them in general, I feel like that's definitely been a thing that kind of happens. So I don't know, I just think it's really sweet. And like I said, I just wanted to kind of track the progress of all of them and like see my art differences from then. I just thought it would be fun and to share this like special little speed paint and yap a little bit. So that's it for now. I wanted to keep it a little bit short and sweet to match the day, like the date and stuff. So 10 minutes and stuff. But yeah, I really appreciate you. Please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see some more from me in the future. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and to listen to me yap about our characters. I'm so excited to share more. And yeah, I hope you'll stick around to hear more about all of our many characters. So thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you very soon.